Hey YouTube, today's video is going to be we're going to attempt anyway to repair a wheel. This wheel is the good wheel. This wheel is actually, the teeth on here is, good. What actually happened is this broke, and as it was moving around, I guess it kind of kept grinding and grinding this down. So the center section broke off of here. It also kind of wore this area in here out. So could go out buy a wheel, but I'm having a hard time finding one, and it might be around $40 a piece. So I'm going to attempt this. Originally I was thinking of gluing it, but because there's so much material missing actually down here, I don't know if I'd be able to flow that glue in there and get it really good in there. I thought about maybe somehow trying to put some kind of shim or something, put a piece of, originally I was going to get a little nail like this, clip it off and try to heat it and shove it through here, through this, coming in this side, through this plastic into here, but that might be a little tricky. So actually what I'm going to try to do is a plastic repair. So this wheel has right here the recycling symbol there that just says number 2 HD high density polyethylene. What I have is some scrap. This is actually from a Toro wheel. You can still see the part number, but PEHD, so polyethylene high density. This came from a wheel that was busted up. That's the old wheel. I chopped some of it up, and I'm basically doing a kind of a regrind method here. So I chop that piece up and try to pelletize this using a little bandsaw. So I'm going to put this into actually my grill. I don't know exact melt temperature, but I don't think it's over 300, maybe 350 or something like that. I'm going to heat this, try to liquefy this down. Then inside here, I'm going to have to pour some of that to get that base. And then I'm going to put this piece. Now, a lot of it is missing. You can see between these points on the bearing side and the points on the wheel side. So this is about the best fit, where I put a little dot here on the screw and a dot here. That seems to be about the best. Now I also got to get the alignment so this is not cocked. So on this side, actually, if you look down in here, there's actually some wear inside this. So I kind of want to get a little goo of plastic in there, and then put that down. And then I'm going to use, this is a Toro bolt, but it will align this way. I can actually get something in there and prop that up, but then this will come down on top and basically align this way. So, and once we get it in there, then puddle in all around that. Hopefully it sets up, catches on some of these little grooves that are here and onto the other side, and then we should have something similar to the original. Okay, so I took the pellets that I made. They're not exactly perfect pellets, and I did my best job of cleaning them. There's a little bit of grime there, but all that's going to really do is just make this, instead of nice white plastic, maybe some kind of yucky looking gray, but this is gray anyway, and it's on the inside anyway, so nobody's going to see that. So I'm not too worried about that. So let's let's get cooking on this and see if I can melt this down consistently. Okay, so we're coming up on temperature. I don't know how accurate this is, but we're over 350. We're about 370. We're starting to get a little pancaking out, melting down, so I'm gonna let that go. Obviously, I couldn't really, pelletize that really into fine pellets like normally you would do with some type of plastic, like, an injection molding machine. But this should keep at that temperature. It'll just keep melting down more and more as long as I don't cook it. So that's trying to. If it stays at that temperature, it'll just take a little bit longer to get it, and then once it's liquefied, I'm going to try to stir it up, get it into kind of a consistent paste, and then go in and pour it into that cavity. Okay, I got my marshmallow fluff. I should say I've never attempted this before. Very hot, but let me see. I just want to go over this hot. This do not want to go. Let's spin this little bolt here. Just to make sure that I'm sticking. How much can you see? Okay. The old one. Not right under. Actually hardening up at this point. So it looks like we got our piece in there. That's blocked up on that side. So I'll have to trim off a little of this crap that's overhanging, but let's see what it looks like. Give it some time to harden up. Okay, so this is the wheel that I put the remelted plastic in here to form this out. It was a little rough, so I just went over this with a little sandpaper just to kind of smooth it out. It's solid in there, that high density polyethylene. Like I said, this is on the back side, so it doesn't have to look great, but this wheel itself, like I said, one of these wheels was at least about $40 or more. And actually I did find something similar, but I think it had the cap type that goes on here, so it's a little different. So the wheels, you know, wouldn't necessarily match. So anyway, this is in here, really solid. Just slip it back on here. It is dried in. Now, I did see a similar mower to this, just different yellow, made by Cub Cadet, well, really made by MTD, but same problem on the same wheel. And you can see where that cable comes in right here. That's where the transmission is. So there's a little shaft that comes out here and a longer shaft that goes out there. So being that other mower had the same issue on the same wheel, there's a short shaft coming out of that transmission there, and I think that could be what the problem is that if you're trying to make a turn, there's a lot more torque on this wheel because the shaft is shorter coming out of here, whereas on that side, the shaft being longer, it may have a little more give or flex. So I think what I'm actually going to do in the final, you know, setup for this, I might swap this wheel to the other side and move that wheel over here. Not that I think this wheel is any weaker now, but that may just be a weakness. Actually, this one may be stronger now because of the extra material that's added in there. So, but yeah, that's it. So I was able to repair that basically with some, I don't know, I want to say recycled materials. So would you do this? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, you know, couldn't really find the exact wheel, so that's kind of more what pushed me to go that route.